because we just
Oh
had
man,
a preface to the show. Yeah, Dan thought we were streaming.
I thought you were live. I
Okay.
mean,
You thought
Well,
wrong.
we were waiting on you.
but you
All right.
always start without
How
me.
did that all start out?
I
We
don't
don't
know.
always.
It's you do if
Okay.
I'm not here
Anyway.
for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So
I'm
just
gonna
to
break
recap.
character here and say like that whole thing was an act for the show, and it wasn't even going. That drained my.
So you're
I'm
done?
drained. I'm just done.
Your enthusiasm is down. Okay.
But you still
Uh,
think, do you really think Cat Williams is smart?
Dude, the guy's pretty freaking smart. And I'm gonna look up. Go ahead, Darcy. Talk about your soft white underbelly. Not your. I
oh,
don't want to hear about your soft white underbelly.
mine.
No.
You want to
It's
see
pretty
it?
soft.
Oh
How
man.
do you know
Yeah,
that,
I mean, I don't
John?
have a whole lot to say
Oh, I
about
know a
it.
lot of things about Darcy.
Yeah, soft white underbelly. Man, it's just it's real interesting. Like I said, you should watch the that intro video because guy uh kind of explains himself as to why he wants to make the videos. And not it's not for the reasons that the comment section accuses him of. It seems to be out of a like a noble place. Um, but yeah, dude, it's eye opening.
I listened to one,
Uh,
it was either today or yesterday. A guy was from Pleasant Valley, Missouri.
which is right over there.
Not very far from here.
What was the deal with
What
that
was
one?
that goose deal? Yeah.
He was strung out on all kinds of drugs, and you could barely understand what he was saying. And he was, just tweaking around the whole time. It was weird. I didn't watch all of it. I just watched a couple seconds of it.
Dude. So what are you saying? So I don't know anything about it from before. So what the internet says he's not doing it for good reasons? Like people.
So if you look at the comments and whatnot, or if you Google him and end up on a Reddit thread, people are ticked that he's monetized and he's just exploiting all of these people who have issues and getting rich. Um, but if you listen to his reasoning on why he's doing it, and then also if you pay attention to the fact that he's trying in so many different ways to help these people out, including hundreds of thousands of dollars he gives them, either in cash or providing a vehicle or getting an apartment that they can stay in, or buying them clothing, water, food. um,
Paying their
so
pimps.
there's, yeah. um, but then, yeah, people are just mad that he's having these interactions, I guess, because it's not like he's being, they'll cite something. Oh, you ask that. You're just asking these triggering questions in order to get get big responses and get more clicks and views. You should never say that to a person who is struggling with such and such, because you're just leading them into failing. And but I mean, the guy is just first of all, he's interviewing people and he's asking legitimate questions. Like
Mhm.
he pretty much starts all of them saying, he says, where did you grow up? Or you know, where are you from originally? Is kind of his first question usually. And so then, because he's in LA, so a ton of the interviews take place in LA. I think sometimes he's over in Florida, maybe New York. I don't know. So, you know, it's always like, where are you from originally? And it's all over the map. And then he'll say, what was your childhood like? Um, you know, did you uh, did you have both parents when you were growing up?
Mhm.
And what was that like? Was it did you have did you have a happy childhood, or were there, you know, instances of abuse or whatever? And he just asks like all these questions and then gets people talking, and they just most of them, I mean, and it's in a studio. He's not like, it's no hidden camera.
They
He's
know
not
they're on
tricking
camera.
anybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're mic'd up.
Yeah. And I th- and he's got another studio guy, or you know, I think he's got another producer person in the studio a lot of the times, it seems like. And I kind of think he might even give him a little money just to do the interview. Like, I think it kind of seems like he does that, but it's wild. And like I said, he gives them he gives them he gives away so much money. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to hear from the people that he's interviewing their their story in their words, you
Mhm.
know, like not someone else talking about a person like that, or how, you know, however that works out, but him just like being friendly to these people and helping them out, you know, in some way,
Yeah.
and then chit chatting with them. It's wild.
So I don't have like a whole lot of experience with um, homeless people or drug addicts, other than like, my brother, um,
Yeah,
who's both
I haven't seen
at
him
any
on there.
at any given time. But um, I have picked up a lot of hitchhikers and given them rides. Just the weirdest one was like pretty sure that I picked up a I don't know what you'd call it exactly. Maybe she would be
STD.
considered like a hooker
Oh,
hitcher, a hooker hitcher, a
I
hitch
don't. I
hooker.
don't.
That's what it is, a hitch hooker. Because I
That's a
gave,
thing.
because, well, okay, I was driving over the intersection there at Higginsville and like saw this lady dragging like way too many like suitcases and stuff across the overpass. And I was like, dude, where
She's
the
headed to
heck
the
is she?
truck stop.
I thought she was like, she had a broke down car back toward Warrensburg, and so I flipped around and I like offered her a ride, and then she's like, oh yeah, that'd be great if you could just get me up to the gas station there. I was like, all right, that's all you need? Yeah, I could. And we talked for a minute, and then and she smelled like sweaty butt, like it was the middle of summer, and I was like, she's been dragging these around for a while outdoors. And I dropped her off at the gas station. I went to Warrensburg, and maybe 2 hours later, whenever I came back through again, she was dragging those suitcases across the interchange the same direction as I had picked her up the first time.
Hmm.
And I was like, what is the game? I don't have any idea, but I didn't pick her up the second time. I was like, what would be the point? Like, I mean, I took her like less than a mile, dropped her off at the gas station, and somehow she was back out there working the damsel in distress bit or something. I don't really know.
Weird.
But I've picked up probably. You guys ever pick up hitchhikers? I've probably picked up 10 or 20 hitchhikers over the
Really?
years. Oh yeah. And I'll tell you something.
That's 10 or 20 more than I have picked up.
I've picked up quite a few of them. I have had so usually I'm armed, so I'm not really like super worried. I just like stick my handgun under my leg so that I just have it like there a little more
Except it
accessible.
used to not be your handgun. It used to be a Bowie knife.
Well, at one point it was a Bowie knife, and then at one point it was that little 22 Bryco that would just accidentally
That
go
would
off
just
automatically, like
What?
and it was
and dump the magazine.
it would just mag dump sometimes. It would never go off. Well, I think it might have even started. I haven't used it in a long time. I still have it in the gun safe. You'd rack the slide and it would just
Go rack.
and it'd be empty. So I stopped carrying that sucker.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, but here's what I've figured out. So like the more memorable ones, I have talked philosophy and religion more with hitchhikers than with any other category of person that I've ever talked to.
Like stranger.
It does not take long to get into philosophy and religion with hitchhikers. And I've transported at least a couple who reached into their bag and pulled out the cans of beer that are like this big. What is that?
40.
The
A 40
40s?
of beer, and you're okay with me? You're all right with this, right? Driving down the highway with my passenger drinking beer.
It's
And
fine.
I'm
It's
just
legal.
like, what is it?
It's legal.
In Missouri, it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm not. You want one? No, I do not. What are you doing? Oh yeah, I'm headed out to try to find my old lady. I got out of prison, and they're telling me that she's out in North Dakota, and I'm heading out to see her, find her. And I'm thinking, like, dude, your old lady wasn't there to pick you up when you got out of prison. She don't want to find you. She don't want you finding her. I don't even know if I want to be helping you, moving you down the highway. But I talked to one dude who was like there's just so many stories. But here would be my what would you call that? My thesis is that there really isn't a homeless problem. Like homelessness as a problem is not a real thing. Mental illness, no, yeah. Mental illness and these folks not being safe and them just being, there's just some people who are like rovers, like they're gonna move around. Like it's not something that our society like accepts, but like there's just people who are gypsies. They're not really interested in, like, it's not like
home.
Yeah, it's not like the people. I haven't picked up, let's say hypothetically I've picked up somewhere in the middle 15 people, transported them total no more than like a few hundred miles, because I'm always just traveling and I'm like, hey, I'm leaving the interstate at this exit, do you want off here, kind of thing. I've never transported someone who was not in some way mentally ill and or addicted to something, and super nice people. They like so far everybody that I've transported was super nice and grateful, and you know, didn't ask, nobody even asked for any money, like that, like, you know, like street people asking you for money in the city all the time. None of the hitchhikers that I've picked up have ever asked me for money. But they're not,
Excluding your brother.
excluding my brother, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not, if you handed them a house that was free of charge to live in, they wouldn't stay in it. We like, it's just, it's not even on any of them that I've picked up's radar at all.
Hmm.
Like having just a
'Cause I would
stable
stay in
life.
that house.
Do what?
I would stay in that house.
Well, sure, but you also live in a house. Like you have a painting on the wall, Jimmy. You're like, you're almost civilized.
Oh well,
But
some would say almost, yes.
But with the experience that I've had, I have thought, this is what, here's where it comes around to. I have thought it would make a great YouTube channel, just go into homeless camps and just interviewing people and like getting, just be like, dude, we're putting, like, I'm not, like, this isn't even anything serious. Tell me your best stories, like your best life stories, because they have some awesome stories. And they're about as true as Theo Vaughn's stories.
What if you did that not in a
They're
homeless
awesome.
camp, but with hitchhikers? You had just cams in the car, and you drive for like an hour just talking to these dudes.
Dude. And just be like, hey, I'm going to edit this down to something that people would watch. And yeah, it would be, I think that it would make for a great channel because they are like, I can't even like repeat the stories, but they're just great. Like, they're great people. And the way that they perceive the world is just different than what you and I perceive. So I think I don't have any issue with the guy monetizing it. That would be why I would do it. I'd be like, hey, I'll bring you some money if I can find you, if I make any money on this.
Well, you're providing them with a service, getting them from one spot to another already.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they would clam up if you put a camera on them or what, but dude, yeah.
Well, the people, this guy, the soft white belly guy, they don't clam up, man. They say some stuff.
They say some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start watching some of it.
Unfortunately, plenty of it I think is true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just true tragic stories.
Yeah. Well, here's one of the guys that I took hitchhiking. Took down I-70 from probably Columbia to Concordia or Higginsville, one of the two. The dude had gotten a job in Japan, and then he got stranded in Japan for 2 years after his job was done.
It's like those dudes on the space station.
And he lived in Japan on the streets for 2 years before they deported him. He maybe didn't even want to come back. I feel like in Japan, you turn yourself in and they're like, they're not turning you back out on their streets. And his thing was like, they throw away better food there than we put on the table and serve at McDonald's. And he's like, I was able to live out of dumpsters and eat like a king in Japan. That was one of his, he's like, oh man. And I'd just go hiking in the mountains and I'd just go find a village and I'd find a restaurant and I'd just go dig through their dumpster and they would have amazing food. And I'm like, And he according to him, he was an engineer. That was why he was working for an engineering firm, is why he was in Japan.
Hmm.
So that wasn't the dude that was looking for his old lady. But
Yep, you should do it, Dan.
it's a great idea. I like it.
I think it's a great idea.
There used to be a homeless camp down here in Belton that was like pretty substantial. And I was always just kind of like, man,
It was the
that
place
would
to
be the
be.
place to go. Would be just go and be like, I'm interviewing anybody who's got some stories. Just they can be great stories that you think are cool, or they could be like sad or whatever you want. I just want to hear your stories
At the end of the day, you'd have some footage, that's for sure.
for sure.
Yep.
I mean, maybe footage of you getting shanked, but yeah,
Yeah, you probably want to just go with like not your expensive camera.
just my phone
Just go with
camera.
a cell phone. Yeah,
Yeah,
because they all got phones.
yeah.
They don't need to steal your phone.
I mean, that dude that worked for me that was homeless, Joe Twilly, he was different, dude.
I had a homeless guy living in my shed one time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
did you evict him?
Uh, I don't remember. I think he ended up getting a place to stay, but he was in there for a few months.
In your shed
Yeah, out back of my
while you
house.
were at the house?
Uh huh.
Like your big shed?
Yeah.
What? Did you like store your stuff back there while he was living back there?
Oh yeah. It looked. It was just a mess. And he would just had a little bed set up in the corner.
Did you know him? What's the deal?
Yeah, it's a guy I know that
Okay.
just looking for some shelter.
I so I'm even though there's only one person watching this, I'm a little hesitant to say who this person is or was. But whatever. What caution to the wind. I've got an uncle who was living at his son's rental property. His son was renting the house to someone else, and his dad, my uncle, was because I have a lot of uncles, by the way, internet. You're gonna have a hard time figuring out who this is.
Yeah, I probably couldn't even guess.
Yeah, you probably couldn't guess. So
All them uncles.
Can I guess his initials?
yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Oh man.
It's my Uncle Jeff, okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, I go over to my cousin's because my cousin's house that he's renting out has like a sewer issue, okay? The sewer main going out of the house is collapsing or busted or something. And so there's like sewer backing up into the clean out in the basement, okay?
He started
talking
pooping in
like-
jars.
Like old school basement, like dungeony basement. So we go over there and we're looking at the house, and I go down to the basement, and there's like a bedroom set up in this basement, okay? Now here's the thing. The upstairs is rented to someone else. And the basement is like a Brookside, like stone.
Like my basement?
Yeah, like a stone foundation basement where there's dirt showing in some places, right? And when it rains, this basement has like 2 inches of water in it until it drains out. And it has sewer Okay. And since somebody else is living upstairs, my uncle's exit is one of those cellar doors that goes like that. Like you go up the stairs and you
Mhm.
push the cellar up. So when it rains, if it rains in the night, he wakes up in his bed and there's 2 inches of water on the floor. He enters and exits through a cellar door because someone else lives in the house. And I'm like,
And the
you're joking, right?
and the
And
upstairs neighbors are cool with it.
they don't know what to do about it. They don't know,
What?
they don't have they don't have access to the basement. So you got creepy dude that comes and goes from your house via a cellar door. And here's the thing. Dude could have lived
They've got 20
anywhere else.
deadbolts on the outside of that basement door upstairs.
And like spikes and stuff, like vampire spikes, I'm sure.
Bungee
Like a
sticks.
booby trap with a shotgun pointed at the door. It was what I'd have. I just have like a chair with a rope tied around a shotgun trigger. And
No
then when
kidding.
the door opens, it would just blast whatever was on the other side of the door. So like, I'm like, dude, you are kidding me? He's like, no, I've actually asked him to leave, and he just randomly shows up and sleeps here, even though he's been asked to not do it anymore.
You're like, don't live in my basement. Oh no, it's okay. I don't mind.
I don't mind, dude. You literally at random come and go from a dungeon where you have a bed and a dresser set up.
Wow.
What?
Up on
And-
up on
and like-
blocks.
I think, and the funny thing is, I'll pivot here. I think that the shower in the basement was a lot like my shower whenever I was a kid in the basement, and Darcy's shower at his house in Sabetha in the country, which was just like a shower head with a couple of knobs on copper pipes and a floor
curtain.
drain and a curtain around it. And
Oh man.
like, so to pivot to the first time I ever visited Darcy, I'm like in Darcy's house, right? In his
In
parents'
my
house,
cellar basement,
in his cellar basement, and it has bedrooms that are just
where he,
divided by curtains. So like the bedrooms are just curtains, and the shower is just a curtain, and it for some reason was cold as balls. And and the shower head was one of those like, oh, you can only have this much mist of water. It cannot get, it's like, it cannot get hot water to your knee. Okay, so
I've
you're just like,
used that one.
you're just taking this shower, and it's like the most tiniest mist of water. The water is only drizzling down your body,
Yeah.
and it is so freaking
dry
cold
by the time it gets to your feet.
that your feet are dry, and you're freezing your butt off. Am I exaggerating, Darcy?
It was kind of like that. And the back door was like right next to the shower,
Oh,
up the steps. So when you open the back door, the wind just blows straight into the shower.
How many bedrooms were in that bathroom?
We're in the basement.
well, so there was this friend of Darcy's that was there whenever I was there, named John, and
He was there at the same time as you.
he wanted to sleep in Darcy's bed and let me sleep on the cot. There was only so many beds, and it was like super weird. No, I don't think he was there whenever I was there. Was he? Was he there when I was there, Darcy?
I didn't know.
How do I
don't
know
really
that?
remember him.
How do I
How
know
do you
that?
know?
that he wanted to
like
sleep
in my bed.
in your bed.
How many people
Was
regularly
like
slept
that.
in your bed, Darcy?
Regularly, that'd be one.
Oh,
But that guy, man.
Can we speak openly about him on the podcast?
Go ahead.
Or
He
like,
ain't watching.
dude wanted to sleep in. So Darcy has officially had like a butt buddy / fanboy in his life. I've never had anybody like this, but like, dude bought the same car as Darcy, wanted to sleep in the same bed as Darcy. Like,
Same
dude
guitar.
was a weirdo. I mean, we were like friends, but then I was like, depending on how good of friends he is with this John guy, we might not be friends for very long. You know what? You know the kind of person where like not good judgment, maybe. Like he's gonna be wearing you as a skin eventually, Darcy.
Gonna get that face transplant.
Oh man.
You're gonna end up in a dungeon bedroom, having somebody say from the other side of the wall, he rubs the lotion on his skin.
Well, that dude that lived in my shed for a few months, there was no bathroom out there. There's no shower out there. It's not climate controlled. I don't know what he was
really
doing.
even insulated.
It's not at all.
Are you still have that house, right? You're just renting it?
Yeah,
Are
correct.
you renting the shed separate?
No, I kept the building for myself.
Okay. So that's kind of like your workshop?
Yeah, / homeless shelter.
/ homeless shelter. My friend Martin lived in a septic tank pouring warehouse.
Dang.
That's the last landline number that I have for him is he lived in you know what I mean by a septic tank pouring warehouse? So, you know, like concrete septic tanks, they actually have these big forms that I don't exactly know how it works, but like they pour them in like a big shop indoors.
Mm-hmm.
And he lived in that deal. So sometimes I just call that number to hear the whatever Pointer septic systems number ring. Just for grins.
Was it like, who owned it?
His uncle.
An uncle?
He kind of like worked for him occasionally, kind of like he worked for me occasionally. So, yeah. I don't actually mind the idea of living in a shop or something like that. My cousin has my second cousin has a spot in, what would that be? What's the next town after Pleasant Hill? Out to the east. Strasburg?
I don't know.
I think it's Strasburg. He owns what used to be the highway from Pleasant Hill that goes from Pleasant Hill to Holden and then out to wherever, goes through Strasburg, and Strasburg's main, like their downtown, they just bumped one street over to put the highway in. So they have like an old downtown where some of the streets or some of the shops like face the highway. So it's like you're driving down the highway 55 miles an hour and there's just those concrete, like side by side buildings. He actually owns 2 of them. And you know, they're like 50 feet lots. Have you ever seen how those are divided up? It's like a 50-foot lot and the dividing wall is the wall between you and your next neighbor. He actually owns the end, skip, and the next one. And he wants to put a bridge over the two of them, like steps, like you'd be at a railroad track or something, like steps up, bridge, steps down to go to his other one. But he's got that whole thing like sort of finished out like a house, but more like a shop than a house. He did put in a pretty nice bar on the second floor, but it's mostly just a shop.
Sounds cool.
It's pretty. I've only been there one time inside, but he works on it all the time. Like if he's not at work, he's working on it. It's kind of fun. I'd live in this shop. I'd live in your shed, Jimmy.
I'd let you.
I don't know why, but
How's your little house doing? You still rent that thing out?
I do. I turned on the heat. I turned on the water too soon, and that last freeze busted my water heater.
Oh.
So I swapped out the water heater there with my camping water heater, and it's functioning fine as far as I know. It's functioning fine. But so have you ever seen, do you know those outdoor water heaters, what they're like? They've got just a propane burner, and then the pipes all wrap around through like this coil. Propane heat goes up through it. I've got a busted pipe on the side, and my surgeon friend said you need to do a biopsy and just take the chunk of pipe out that's busted.
A bypass?
Well, he's a surgeon, so he calls it a biopsy. And then take the part that you cut out to the hardware store and see if you can find a piece of pipe does that make sense? Like
Okay, I understand why he's saying biopsy.
To replace the chunk of pipe, because it's literally just like the pipe is going this way and it's just a split, and I don't think there's any way to fix the split in it without like replacing a chunk of pipe. But those things are like, I'll send you a picture of it. They're like half solder. Like there's so much solder on those suckers.
Weird.
That I'm kind of afraid that if I tried to heat it up, it'll
fall apart.
It would just melt all the other solder. It's almost like they like put it all together and they like freaking dipped it in solder and pulled it out. It's so crazy how much solder there is on those things.
Maybe that is what they did.
I don't know if it's fixable, to be honest. And it was like a $300 water heater. It was a lot. Kind of annoying. But yeah, I've rented it out probably five or six times since kind of the warmer weather hit.
You gonna build more?
After I build my house, I would really like to build several out at the property. But I'd have to find somebody to clean them that was local there.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if I could make the exact same amount of money renting out little cabins as I do renting out the house, I would probably like switch the focus of the whole place toward renting the cabins out and not the house. Because I figure for like 15 grand each, I could build like 3 cabins, and 3 cabins would rent out for the same amount as the house. And probably, I don't know, you could probably, based on the Airbnb stuff, I think if you built like a tree house up in the woods overlooking that lake, you probably get quite a bit more for a tree house than you can for a cabin. Although I haven't looked into it lately as to whether tree houses are still popular or whatever.
My goal is to clean that shed out, get all my tools and whatnots out of there and rent it out. And
On Airbnb?
no, just
For
like a
homeless
long-term
people?
rental,
Like
just
a
for like a storage
lease
unit.
for a storage? Okay. Yeah.
And I think I can get $400 or $500 a month out of that. And there's like, you know, it's just the building. There's no maintenance. There's no nothing.
Where would you work out of? Do you just work out of
I
your
have
house?
a I have a building at my new house.
Oh, okay. How big
It's
is it?
not. It's 30 by 25.
Oh, so pretty similar, but is it as tall? Not as tall
No,
as your?
it's 8 foot walls, so it's 15 foot shorter and 8 foot instead of 12
Okay.
tall.
I have an opportunity to buy um from a guy in our church 2 grain bins that are, I think they're 14 feet across, 12 or 14 feet, but they're only like 9 foot tall. And I thought if I did buy them, he said he would deliver them. I could put 2 grain. So imagine like 2 12-foot grain bins and then a breezeway, and the kitchen is the breezeway, and one grain bin is a bedroom and the other is like a living room type of thing. And then the breezeway just has like a kitchen on one side and glass front with a door on the other side. I think that would make a cool addition to my current property.
Darcy, you should
yeah.
fix yours up and rent it out.
Yeah.
Are yours about that size, Darcy?
Yeah.
About 12 or 14 feet?
My one is probably a 14 footer, and the other one is maybe like 20.
Dude, you could put your little lot back there would be cool once you get your shop done, right? You could set up a you could put a like a little canned ham.
Mm-hmm.
You could put like a canned ham back in your field and like a silo. You could have like a kind of hopping little Airbnb deal back there if you wanted to.
Yep.
I mean, with the goats and the pig, get you a donkey, like get you a mini cow.
Yeah.
You could have like a
People pay big
really,
money to be a farmer for a weekend.
absolutely, dude. Yeah.
Yep.
Just don't kill the fox. You'd have to keep the foxes. You couldn't be
Yeah.
shooting foxes while people are there.
No, probably not.
I do not watch, and I know Darcy and I have talked about this, but I don't really watch this guy's channel other than just the novelty of trying to understand what exactly people are interested in it for. It's called Arms Family Homestead on YouTube. Dude has like 1 million followers, and they have an Airbnb now. They have
Oh, they do?
they do. They started out with like the little homestead, and they raised a bunch of goats. But their goat operation was like that they took like 30 kids or whatever age you sell goats at to market every year. That was their original thing. And one of the things he said on a recent video, because I pretty much only watch the videos where he's talking about like the business of YouTube. He said that their current animal selection has 100% to do with what people like. It's like a digital petting zoo. It's not at all a business, like a farm business type of group of animals. It's all just like, he's like, the people who are like interested in seeing a goat operation that produces, $2,000 to $5,000 worth of kids a year to sell that eventually get butchered, and the people who want to see like mini cows, totally like diametrically opposed, viewership. And since it's a digital platform, the people that want to see a mini cow and a mini donkey totally won out over the people that want to see you butcher a goat. And that was like the only reason they switched to that
Wow.
type of a deal.
Give the people what they want.
But dude, your place already has all the things that people want. Goats that can't be sold or killed, chickens, kids driving tractors around. I mean,
Yeah.
boxes, like all of it.
How great would that
Garden.
be if someone would pay you to take care of your animals?
They will. You just got to post a heck of a lot more than you're posting now.
Yeah, I posted 5 videos last week.
Dude, here's my only caveat. Here's my only complaint about the videos last week. Nobody knows if you posted 50 videos in the same day.
Right.
So don't apologize for it. Just post them.
No, like that one where I said I'm blowing you up.
Yeah, nobody knows that.
Well,
unless,
but I said
me.
that too.
What?
I said that though.
I know.
I was like, man, I'm hitting you with a whole bunch of videos. Although you don't watch my videos, you don't know me.
You don't care.
You don't know me. You don't watch my videos.
Dude, I got a copyright strike today on one of my videos.
You did?
Yeah. I got the freaking sound off of it, off of CapCut, and it copyright striked me. And I was like, why? And I looked into it. It allows that sound, whatever the sound was, to be played on 1 minute and less shorts.
Yeah.
What?
And yours was like 1:20.
Yeah. It's like, dude, that's dumb. It was a minute 57, so it was almost 2 minutes long. So I just
should have done
deleted
2
the
1-minute shorts.
I probably should. I should probably do like a whole series. I got a laser tape measure today, and I just did a short on it, and I put background music on it, which I don't know. I think it's more pleasant to hear background music, but apparently that particular sound was, and the thing is, it's all supposed to be royalty-free music, but putting it on something over a minute. Have you had that happen? How about you,
No.
Jimmy? Have you had that
I
happen?
haven't had that happen yet.
I was wondering if I was going to get a copyright strike on that video that I posted from the competition.
Oh yeah, because
Cheer
of the
competition,
background.
because there was music just playing over the loudspeakers.
Mm-hmm. They didn't.
And I didn't know if that would be an issue.
Yeah, because it was like popular music, right? It was like.
Yeah, I mean it's like dance music.
Yeah.
Yep. They didn't, as far as I know though, they didn't shut it down. Oh man. I got the yawns tonight.
Me too.
I need to run upstairs really quick. Are you guys going to leave before I come back?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you do, then have a good night, y'all.
What's he doing? Getting ice cream or something?
I need some.
Probably. I hope he's bringing me some.
I could do some ice cream right now.
Yeah, I don't do ice cream actually late at night.
Yeah, I don't either, but I could.
I'm pretty sure if I eat ice cream in the evening, it messes with my stomach, and I'll be up on the toilet in the night.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Here we go, guys.
Did you
I'll show you this.
Did you cut the plates, or did you buy some?
I didn't cut them yet, so I'll show you what I got. Okay, so I bought a plate carrier because you unvelcro this stuff and you can put plates. I actually have like bench press plates in it right now, right? So it's a carrier for like a plate carrier, like a military plate carrier with Molly. And what I'm wanting to do is twofold. One, I've been carrying it whenever we go on hikes so that I have like 20 pounds of extra weight.
I have that.
Do what? You have one of those?
No, I actually have more than 20 pounds of extra weight whenever I go on hikes.
Especially when you go hiking.
Well, I'm actually carrying more than, I'm carrying about 10 pounds already, and this is an additional 20 pounds. Okay. But what I really want to do is, and this is something, Darcy, you know more about this stuff. I don't want to carry the plates in it all the time, but I want to actually figure out how to hook my nail bags onto this to frame. So when I'm framing, I can put it on a rig instead of on my waist, because I don't have a very good, you might say I don't have a very good butt for framing bags. They're like sliding off of me all the time, right? And I really like my detachable, my bags have these clips and you can detach the bags from the belt, but the bags, the plastic clips dig into me on the belt. So it's like
you ever
there's
try
no
the spender straps?
And even with the suspenders on that set, they still do it. So I'm hoping to figure out a way to attach it to this side panel and just have the bags hanging off of this vest, because this is actually like, it's pretty comfy. I mean, it's probably going to get hot in the summer. But then, did we talk about these plates last week? This is the leftover panels from that wall that I built. And I don't know if you can see this, but that is a 9mm bullet right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can you see that it kind of mushroomed it a little bit? But this is pretty
Did the bullets stay in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Isn't that crazy? So there's enough of this to make a plate for the front and for the back of that vest. But it got me thinking and watching YouTube videos, and there's people that have taken epoxy, just like you buy at Home Depot, just right there with the Bondo epoxy, and fiberglass welding blankets.
Okay.
Right? And they make, so like the thing about these plates is they're flat. They're not going to contour at all. Right? So the edges of them are going to kind of stick out on that plate carrier flat. So most of your plates are a little bit curved, but there's people who take basically fiberglass welding blankets and epoxy and make like a 1/2 inch thick. Oh dude, I've got fiberglass on my arm now. Dang it. Make a bulletproof plate that's contoured for like $30. And then I watched a video, dude shot it, and it withstood up to, but not excessive of a 44 mag. But when he shot it with the 44 mag, he had already shot it with a 22, a 380, a 9mm, a 45, a 40, and then he shot it with a 44 mag. Like, it might have stopped the 44 mag if you hadn't done all that to it.
Right.
That's pretty
impressive.
cool. I kind of want to do it.
Do it.
Dang it. What did I do to myself? Don't do that, guys. It's irritating.
Should have been wearing your protective gear.
Apparently, hurt yourself with the bulletproof plate.
I wonder when you cut that stuff and turn it into plates, you should figure out if you can like dip the edges or something.
Like round them?
Like coat them in like a plastic
resin
dip type of something or other.
I have a fiberglass ladder that has so much frayed fiberglass on it. Not like structurally not working, but like I don't like using it because there's so many little points sticking out of it. And I've thought about like, is there a way to coat that sucker and then sand it and then coat it to make it useful again? Because if you ever tried to use a ladder a fiberglass ladder that's starting to like splinter, it's horrible. It's terrible.
I've used a fiberglass ladder that was not very good.
Strength-wise, or
yeah, not very sturdy.
Oh,
like
really?
like both of the feet on the step side are just completely shredded about 8 inches
something
out.
like that.
I had one of those.
So it sits there and it looks like it's one of those ladders that you can like climb on and use. And then as soon as you put weight on it, it goes it just crumbles.
I've owned one of those. Yeah. You still use it?
Heck yeah.
Yep.
If you're careful.
It collapses faster when Darcy gets on it than I get on it.
Well,
that's because I have.
You get them extra plates.
Dude, I've switched almost exclusively, except for my really tall ladders, to those Gorilla, the ones that like extend out like a little giant, and then you can flip them in half. And I think I told you guys about this. I also got I had some some Lowe's lady trying to sell me a credit card, like hard sell me a credit card. And then she came and she's like, hey, that little giant you were looking at was on sale. I got the like pretty massive 28-foot little giant for $100.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I wanted every ladder in their store at $100. And that was the only one that rang up at that price. I think, didn't you go look for one, Darcy, to see if they had them at a different store?
I went to 2 different Lowe's. Yeah.
I have no idea how that happened, but I took the deal and I got out of there like a bandit. That thing is a really nice ladder. I think it's like, that was like 6.5 foot or 6 foot just standing. And then when you extend it out, it's 6, 12, 24. I feel like it's 24 feet, which is a lot of ladder. 6.5 and then 24.
Yeah, that's nice. Yep. Well, we're coming right up at an hour, and I'm feeling sleepy.
Me too.
Yeah.
Dan's got to get his report written.
No, I don't have to. Done with that. Man, that's the
Oh,
lowest
man.
performing short ever
In the history of the world?
in the history of my shorts.
How many
No.
views?
4 views in 3 hours. I think it has something to do with the old, you know, getting banned.
Are you guys
for an
logged
hour.
in on YouTube?
I am.
Okay.
Is my Uncle Jeff watching?
Jeff's
We
one.
have 2 concurrent viewers.
Oh,
We've had 3 views, 2
Wow.
concurrent.
I'm
I'm
not
live
logged
on
in.
YouTube currently.
Okay.
Dude, I think
so you're one of
somebody's-
them.
Oh, you are? Oh, well. Oh, man.
Hi to the other person.
Yeah, I think people are just starting to discover us.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like and
Oh,
leave a
man.
comment, please.
Hey,
Yes,
if you're watching
please
us, leave a
comment
comment.
so
We
that
would
we-
love to know why. Oh, man. We don't know why.
we
If
we
you
don't
could
even know
tell
why
us
we're talking.
what it is about
Oh,
our podcast that makes
dude.
you want to watch. I bet it's Trevor, and he's just put it on play and went and did whatever else he's
Went to
doing.
bed.
Yeah. Wait, did somebody leave a comment?
Yeah.
Hey,
Somebody named Alex said happy Thanksgiving, folks. So I can't tell when. I have no idea when that happened.
like on this one?
I don't know.
Man, that might be our first comment ever.
Oh, look at that. I just logged on.
Really, you did?
Oh, wait, now how many views do we have? Ooh, that's fun.
Is it over? Live chat. Awesome show, guys. A Weesome show. There we go.
Are we commenting?
Keep it up.
We getting them algorithms going?
Yeah, here we go. Did you get the comment, Darcy?
Yeah, it just showed up. Man, we got all sorts of comments tonight. But I wish I could tell when this happened.
Yeah, the viewer dropped as soon as we started talking about having a viewer.
Like, oh crap, I gotta get out of here.
No,
Okay.
I can't let anybody know that I watched these guys.
Okay, this guy, Alex, joined. So must be. Not yet. It says chat messages in the last year. Well, that's not very helpful.
Are you busy Thursday, Darcy? Thursday evening?
I don't know. Are you going back out?
I am thinking about the possibility of live streaming through your platform onto YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Brad's Beginner Brews first live episode.
Oh, really?
I would take my laptop over and this camera and live stream it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Could you live stream to a different channel, or does it have to be with your channel? How complicated would that be?
I don't know.
Why can't you just live stream on YouTube?
Well, you have to choose what channel. Like you'd have to either live stream onto Nacho retice Darcy's channel, or create a channel, Brad's Beginner Brews. One or the other.
I mean, I could set it up.
I mean, Brad doesn't have Brad's Beginner's Brews. That's just my dream for him. So, you know, we could just live stream a live brewing
channel.
onto. Do what?
Just make a Brad's Beginner Brews channel.
I mean, that makes sense, right? We could always give it to him if it took off.
Or sell it to him for $1 million.
Yeah, that's true. I've tried, you know, I think that Brad would make a great character for a YouTube channel. And I've talked to him about going in with him on a subscription brewing deal, but he, like most of us, is not apt to actually do the things you talk about doing. So, you know, I mean, what would it hurt to sell brew kits on YouTube? I don't think it hurt anything.
And you say this dude knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah. More so than us, anyway. I'll show you the bottle label that I made for him, for his one that he's brewing on Thursday.
Does it look like this?
Similar. Well, I don't know if this will be the right direction. Oh.
Yeah, there's your crotch.
What is happening?
There's not even a bulge tonight. Oh, man.
Oh, no. Damn, this is a family-friendly channel.
Okay, here we go. Is that forward to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, right?
Yes.
So this
shouldn't it say from the hill? Shouldn't it say from the hills of
Wales?
Jowden?
Is that a picture of me?
So that's a picture of Saint Brychan, which is who the brew that he's doing on Thursday is patroned after, or whatever you'd call it. And Brychan was a ancestor of the Jenkins, and he was like I forget what he's the patron saint of, but like there's some backstory to him brewing and something. I forget the exact backstory, but he's making it for a Catholic church for their what do you call it when they have their feast of, like, we're relieved that we don't have to eat fish and drink water.
Oh, the end of Lent. Yeah.
Yeah. I think every Friday or something, or Friday during Lent, they have fish fries, and then they have like
every Friday.
Isn't it Friday? Saturday?
Yeah, like every Friday.
Yeah, every Friday, and then they have like a final
in the world, like every Friday.
Yeah, but they have some special thing at the end of Lent when they stop doing. They have they invite people in that aren't Catholic and everything to participate. And
I heard the Pope said to just eat and drink whatever you want during Lent.
Oh, did he?
He did.
The new Pope?
Yeah.
Why's that?
It had something to do with
Trump?
No, it wasn't Trump. It was something to do with It's not about what you're eating, it's about your heart.
I mean, sometimes I wish like we were a little more Catholic-y. Like when they're like, "Hey, we're having this big party and we're gonna drink beer at church." You know what I mean? Like we could be a little more Catholic-y, right?
Yeah. Should suggest that to the guys at our church.
You should, Darcy. You should suggest that. Just be like, just one day a year, we have a little party at church where we drink beer.
It could
Oh,
be a
man,
men's event.
It could be a men's event. Yeah.
I said to a friend just yesterday, last evening.
Church friend?
Yeah. In reference to having a Guinness, that would be one of the reasons that I will never be asked to be a deacon at our church.
You can be on stage every week. You can run the sound. You can lead worship for almost a year, 2 years, but you cannot be a deacon or anything because
I had a conversation with one of the pastors at our church on Sunday about Guinness, the difference between Guinness in America and the Guinness in Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he pretty well versed?
He said he had heard about it.
he had heard but not experienced it.
What's the difference, Jimmy?
One of the differences is here, it's super chilled, and over there, it's not.
Room temperature, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much it's chilled a little, so it's cool, but it's not cold. And so I don't know if that's like what makes it taste different, but it's creamier over there.
So, do you like it better when it's less cold?
I think I liked it better because I was in Ireland.
Yeah.
You know, it
So
wasn't so much different that I was like, wow, this is so much better than America.
the first Guinness I ever had was on tap at some place, like at some like swanky, like I forget where it was. And I was like, dude, this stuff is amazing. And then I bought a case of Guinness and poured myself one. And I was like, this is not at all the same as Guinness on
So
tap.
you need to do it again because I think that how long ago was that?
10 years probably or more.
Yeah, so that was
try it again.
prior.
I sent them an
That was
email. It was
prior
so
to-
lame. I was like,
You
hey,
did.
I was like, hey,
Well, they
what's up with
changed
the
it for you.
Guinness in the bottle?
That
'Cause it's
that
terrible.
was prior to nitrogen.
Oh,
Nitrogen bottling or whatever. So now Guinness is nitrogenated. And
okay.
it's real nice.
Is it where when you pop the tab, it nitrogenates it right then?
Mhm.
Or is it, yeah? So it like simultaneously pops that. Is it enough nitrogen that if you had it at room temperature, it cools it a little bit? Or do you still have to cool it a little bit?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know about that, but I could run a test and leave this one out of the refrigerator.
Yeah, it was bad. It was not great. And I was like very disappointed in them. It was bottled.
And then Guinness has a very specific way of pouring out of the tap. You hold the glass at a 45-degree angle, and then it comes down, and you pull the handle forward all the way.
Uh-huh.
and it goes in, and then when it gets about half, you turn it off, and then you set the cup down and let it rest.
Uh-huh.
You let it rest for about 30 seconds or so, and then you take the handle and push it backwards and just straight down into it until it reaches the top, and then
And
shut
you
it.
let it overflow or not?
No.
No.
And with those nitro cans, you take the cup, and you put the can in there, just drop it in.
Okay.
It's pretty tasty.
I'm getting real tempted, but it's
I should try
11:30
it
at
again
night,
at
and I'm
some
about to go to bed.
Right.
Yeah.
Down in a Guinness this late at night might, I don't know, it might make you sleep real good or real bad.
Yeah, might make me not want to get up in the morning.
Or you may have to pee 3 times in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's a pretty good chance of that anyway. I've been sleeping on this all night.
All right, guys, go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and all our viewers.
Hey, viewer, go to bed.
Go to bed, viewer.
What are you even watching
Look at
this
that.
at this late at night?
They might be on the West Coast.
Why
And
are you up? Why are you up watching this? It is not worth it.
Oh man.
All right. Well then, we'll call it a show.
next
Okay,
week
see you
we'll
next
have a report on the warm Guinness versus cold Guinness.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
So everybody have some Guinness before Tuesday in the
Got it.
fridge,
I can do
or
that.
not in the fridge. All right, we'll see you then.
Later.
Okay.
Keep Riverside open. Mine never says it's loading, but the whole time we were recording, it said 99% uploaded.
Oh, and I have a screen that says.
Oh, and I have a. It's still on YouTube. Oh, and I have a. It's still on YouTube.
That's our bonus.